Hello, hello, hello. Joseph Milliken here with Source Allies. I'm here to talk about how we've overcome the oh so common challenge of any tool. After you get it all set up and perfect, how do you get your data into it? Now, Codebeamer is the tool example I'll be using, and it supports various ways to import items right out of the box. But imagine your requirements aren't in one of these formats, or there are inconsistencies because people are human, of course. We've all encountered this. We don't need to imagine it. Here at Source Allies, we've combined our expertise in generative AI solutions to conquer it. Generative AI is great for handling said inconsistencies while not requiring the tedious development time to make a shrink wrap solution that just breaks the moment a human does something that the ETL tool wasn't written to handle. So, I've searched and I found the smallest example we have to show you today for the purposes of time, and it's based on my colleague Brian's project. So if you want more details about that, watch their video, but the quickest recap is that the domain of this project is Factorio, a resource management factory building game with a great deal of complexity, raw resources, machines with item, power, and fluid, inputs and outputs, logistics on getting those where they need to be, throughput, all that fancy stuff. Just trust us, it's complex, and there's a great deal of hierarchical data. Now, Brian has this tracker set up. As we can see, it's got a few fields on it: research iteration, research time, a table of unlocked technologies, a list of required science packs and precursor researches. So some basic entries, some links to other trackers up and downstream. This is pretty good. You notice there are only 30 of them because Brian is human. There are actually over 200 in the actual tiny example of this, and they're not in a perfectly importable format for Codebeamer. They exist on a wiki, which is just a bunch of web pages with links between them. Here's the entry page, and here's a table of most of the researches. This is not comprehensive, though, something we didn't realize until we let the tool loose, and it came back with more than we expected. So there you go. If your resources of information is inaccurate, it can help you with that too. Now, for this, we did put together an ETL tool leveraging generative AI to, starting at a single research item, traverse through this repository of documentation and extract the information needed to fill in all these tracker fields. And most importantly, save them to a format that Codebeamer can export. Now, if we switch on over to the tool, we can go ahead and run it. Now, it's not instantaneous. I have cached the results for the purpose of the video, but as you can see, this is, even on its true speed, faster and more accurate than manual data entry. As we know, that has its own set of challenges, from the high cost of actually paying the experts to do this, to the inaccuracy of having those unaware making a bunch of mistakes, and then having the experts have to come back and fix it anyway. Again, lots of problems, I won't get into it. But as you can see, this particular tool, it did as a human would do. It started at one, and it found the references and links to the other ones, which is following basically what a human would do. You start at one, you find references to other up and downstream entities. Now, it's already done, thankfully. If we were to go to my downloads, you can see all researches. The Excel file is right here, and if we were to open this up, this is, as we expected, all the fields, all the values, both plain, references to other entities, descriptions. It's all here. We're very happy we didn't make Brian enter all of these. Now, given the scope of this example, we were able to export directly to a RECF, or we were able to export directly to an Excel file, but had we been dealing with multiple trackers or a more complex project, we would have used a RECF. We lucked out in this case for the purpose of the video, so we can keep it nice and short. Now, to import this, we would of course use Codebeamer. Usually this part is automated too, but I didn't want to hand wave too much of it away. Just a blink and you miss it. What happened? So, I'm going to go ahead and go through this import process. We don't need to change anything, of course, because it's a round trip. We've named all the fields correctly. We have exported it to a format that Codebeamer can import. As you can see, lots of changes, both to existing entities and the creation of new entities. Let's just let this run so we can actually see the results, though. Now, this is a big job. It does take a little bit to run, Thankfully, we don't have to wait. It is a partial, so if we look here, we can already see the descriptions. These weren't here before. They are now here. They are all filled in, and they all have references to their other entities. Like a foundry, that one doesn't have information because we don't have the other tracker items made, but let's look at a gate. Here it is. This is an automation science pack, logistics science pack, these two numbers, and if we were to go further into it, we could of course get the traceability, and now that it has been properly linked to all the other entities, we can get traceability for all these other items. Again, one of the main advantages of Codebeamer, you get all this traceability when you set it up correctly, and it's even got the description, which was a tedious thing to capture, but the tool has done that for us. Now, I'll stop here because this is already getting long, but this is, as we see, the manual data entry effort gone. Completely eliminated with a little bit of generative AI, and nothing is technically stopping us from rerunning this again and doing some incremental updates as we desire. I have been Joseph Milliken with Source Allies. If you'd like to learn more about this particular solution, our other work of PTC, Codebeamer, or anything at all, come on over to our corner of the internet at sourceallies.com. Thanks for watching, and happy innovating!